Ever wondered what your great-grandmother knew that you don't? While you scroll TikTok for life hacks, Amish women practice 10 skills that actually work. No apps, no tutorials, just forgotten knowledge passed mother to daughter. Skills that seemed obsolete until the power went out. Reading weather. Cloud patterns predicting rain were common knowledge nearly everyone could interpret. Mare's tail clouds indicate weather change within 24 hours. Mackerel sky patterns suggest rain coming. Dark clouds building in the afternoon mean thunderstorms are likely. These observations don't require scientific understanding, just attention to repeating patterns. Animal behavior forecasting storms include signs Amish women watch constantly. Cattle lying down together suggest rain approaching. Birds flying low indicate air pressure changes before storms. Unusual animal restlessness warns of severe weather hours before arrival. Moon phases and planting follow tradition, with possible basis in moisture and gravitational effects. Planting root vegetables during the waning moon, above ground crops during waxing moon provides a framework that generations of farmers found reliable. Why this matters extends to anyone making outdoor plans or preparing for weather impacts. Modern people check apps completely, never developing intuitive weather sense. When technology fails, modern people have no backup knowledge. Preserving food, canning, drying, and root cellaring kept food safe for months or years before refrigeration. Water bath canning preserves high-acid foods. Pressure canning handles low-acid foods. Drying removes moisture, causing spoilage. Root cellaring uses Earth's stable temperature for winter storage. All work perfectly without electricity. Properly canned food remains safe for years. Dried foods last indefinitely when stored correctly. Root-cellared vegetables stay fresh through entire winters. The preservation methods require no ongoing energy beyond initial processing. Lost preservation knowledge means most modern people couldn't feed families if grocery stores closed for a month. They don't know which foods can be preserved how, what equipment is needed, or what safety precautions prevent botulism. When power goes out, refrigerated and frozen food begins spoiling within hours. Modern people have no methods to preserve food rapidly enough. They throw away hundreds of dollars while Amish neighbors preserve their food, losing nothing. Making medicine. Herb gardens as pharmacies provided treatment for common ailments modern people immediately seek prescriptions for. Chamomile for anxiety and sleep, peppermint for digestive issues, echinacea for immune support, plantain poultices for insect bites, yarrow to stop bleeding. These plants grow easily and provide reliable treatment. Treating common ailments naturally means having options for issues not requiring doctors. A headache, upset stomach, minor burn, or insect bite doesn't need emergency room visits when you know which plants help. The herbal knowledge kept healthcare accessible and affordable. Knowledge passed mother to daughter ensured herbal medicine survived across generations. Young girls learned which plants to identify, when to harvest them, how to prepare them, and what conditions they treated through participation and observation. What we lost with prescription dependency includes the judgment to distinguish minor ailments from serious conditions requiring professional care. Modern people rush to doctors for everything because they have no other options or confidence in their own judgment. Sewing clothes? Making and mending clothing meant women could create garments from fabric and repair them indefinitely. Amish women sew all family clothing, dresses, shirts, pants, children's outfits, using patterns and techniques learned from their mothers. The clothes are sturdy, well-constructed, and designed for repair. Worn areas get patched, torn seams get resewn, outgrown clothes get altered or passed down. Nothing gets discarded while it can still be repaired. Quality over fast fashion creates garments that last 10 or 20 years versus modern clothes that fall apart after a season. The quality comes from better materials, better construction, and design that prioritizes durability over trendy details. An Amish woman's dress might be plain, but it will outlast 20 trendy dresses from fast fashion retailers that are designed to be discarded and replaced constantly. Teaching daughters to sew ensures the next generation can clothe themselves independently of retail systems. Girls learn young, starting with simple projects and progressing to complete garments. By teenage years, they can sew their own clothing and their future children's clothing. The skill provides lifelong independence and significant financial savings compared to buying all clothing retail. Why modern clothes fall apart relates to planned obsolescence and race to bottom pricing. Clothes are designed to be cheap and disposable rather than durable and repairable. Seams that could be reinforced aren't. Materials that could last years are replaced with cheaper alternatives that deteriorate quickly. Modern people accept this because they've lost both sewing skills and memory that clothes used to last much longer. Baking bread, feel and experience over recipes means Amish women know when bread dough is right by how it feels in their hands, not by following exact measurements. The dough should feel smooth and elastic, slightly tacky but not sticky. It should spring back when poked. These tactile indicators are more reliable than cup measurements because flour varies in moisture content, making exact measurements less accurate than experienced judgment. Understanding dough by touch develops through repetition that modern reliance on recipes prevents. When you measure exactly and follow recipe rigidly, you never develop intuitive sense of when dough is right. When you work dough regularly and pay attention to how it feels, you develop physical memory that informs adjustments, adding flour when it's too wet, adding water when it's too dry without consulting instructions. Baking by instinct, not instructions, allows adaptation to varying conditions that recipes don't account for. Humid days require less liquid. Dry days require more. Old flour behaves differently than fresh flour. Altitude affects rising. Experienced bakers adjust automatically based on feel. Recipe-dependent bakers fail when conditions vary because they lack experiential knowledge to guide adjustments. Lost art of intuitive cooking extends beyond bread to all cooking. Modern people follow recipes rigidly, unsure how to adjust when something seems wrong. Previous generations cooked by feel, taste, and experience, creating meals without consulting written instructions. The shift from experiential to recipe-based cooking created dependency on written instructions and eliminated development of cooking intuition. Birthing. Home births with midwives represent a traditional approach where women birth in familiar surroundings attended by experienced women they know and trust. Amish midwives have delivered hundreds of babies, learning through apprenticeship rather than medical school. The births happen at home with the mother's family present, creating intimate experience rather than medicalized hospital procedure. Complications requiring hospital transfer happen but are relatively rare. Women supporting women through labor creates network of experienced mothers who have been through birth and can provide emotional support, practical help, and knowledge based on their own experiences. The laboring mother isn't surrounded by strangers following hospital protocols, but by women she knows who can offer encouragement, position suggestions, and reassurance based on their own successful births. Postpartum care networks ensure new mothers aren't isolated and struggling alone. Community women bring meals, help with older children, assist with housework, and offer breastfeeding support and childcare advice. The support continues for weeks, ensuring the mother can rest and recover while maintaining household function. This prevents postpartum depression and complications that isolation often worsens. What hospitals replaced and lost includes the intimacy, familiarity, and community support that traditional birth provided. Hospitals offer medical safety and intervention capabilities that home birth cannot match. But they also create sterile, medicalized experiences surrounded by strangers, following protocols rather than personalized care. The trade-off gained safety but lost community, intimacy, and women's traditional role supporting each other through birth. Organizing. Everything has its place. Nothing extra describes Amish approach to household organization. Items get stored where they're used. Minimal possessions mean storage needs are small. The organization isn't about buying bins and shelving systems, but about owning less and using what you own regularly. When everything you own is useful and used frequently, organization happens naturally without requiring purchased systems. Living with less, creating natural order, means the chaos modern homes experience comes partly from having too much stuff. When you own three of everything instead of one, finding what you need becomes difficult. When closets overflow with clothes you don't wear, getting dressed becomes stressful. When kitchens contain dozens of specialized gadgets, finding the one you need requires searching. Amish homes avoid this chaos by simply owning less. No need for organizing systems saves money and mental energy that modern people spend on storage solutions. The organizing industry exists because modern people own too much and need systems to manage excess. Amish people simply own less, eliminating the need for elaborate storage. What they own fits in available space naturally without requiring purchased organizers, labeled bins, or closet systems. How excess creates chaos that organizing systems try to manage reveals that the real solution is owning less, not organizing better. Modern people buy organizing systems to manage possessions they don't need or use. The systems create temporary order that collapses as more items accumulate. Amish approach prevents the problem by refusing to accumulate excess in the first place. Thing hash height. Hosting without stress. Feeding dozens without panic happens regularly in Amish homes, where extended family gatherings involve 20 to 40 people. The hosts aren't stressed because expectations are reasonable. No one expects Pinterest perfect decorations or Instagram worthy presentation. The food is simple meat, potatoes, vegetables, bread, dessert, prepared in large quantities and served family style. The focus is gathering together, not impressing guests. Simple food served abundantly satisfies better than elaborate presentation of insufficient portions. Amish hosts make large quantities of familiar food that everyone likes. Seconds and thirds are expected. No one leaves hungry. The abundance communicates hospitality more effectively than fancy presentation of tiny portions that leave guests still hungry, but afraid to appear greedy. No Pinterest perfect expectations eliminate the performance anxiety that makes modern hosting stressful. Amish hosts aren't trying to impress anyone or create Instagram-worthy moments. They're feeding family and friends using methods they use daily, just in larger quantities. The reduced expectations make hosting frequent and enjoyable rather than rare and stressful special events requiring weeks of preparation. Hospitality over performance means the goal is making guests feel welcome and cared for, not showcasing hosting skills. The measure of success is whether guests felt welcome and were adequately fed, not whether the table looked magazine-worthy. This focus on substance over appearance makes hosting accessible rather than intimidating performance that modern people avoid because the expectations feel overwhelming. Resolving conflict. No texting passive-aggressive messages means Amish women handle conflicts through direct conversation. When someone offends you or disagreements arise, you talk to the person directly. The conversation might be uncomfortable, but it resolves issues that digital communication leaves festering. The directness prevents the escalation that happens when people text grievances instead of discussing them. Direct conversation solving problems works better than digital communication because tone and intention are clear. Texts can be misinterpreted. Face-to-face conversation provides facial expressions, tone of voice, and immediate clarification when misunderstanding occurs. The real-time feedback allows genuine resolution rather than the prolonged conflict that digital miscommunication creates. Accountability through presence forces honesty that digital communication allows people to avoid. It's easy to be cruel or dishonest in text messages. It's much harder to lie to someone's face or say cruel things while looking at them. The physical presence creates accountability that digital distance eliminates, making face-to-face conflict resolution more honest and ultimately more effective. Why digital conflict never resolves relates to the ease of misinterpretation and the ability to avoid genuine engagement. People text angry messages, then don't respond to replies, leaving conflict hanging. The asynchronous nature prevents real conversation. The lack of tone creates misunderstanding. The distance allows cruelty that face-to-face accountability would prevent. Digital conflict tools create problems they cannot solve. Sitting still. Comfortable with silence and stillness describes Amish women's ability to simply sit without needing constant stimulation. After dinner, an Amish woman might sit quietly on the porch watching the evening settle, not scrolling her phone, not watching TV, not listening to podcasts, just sitting. The stillness isn't uncomfortable, but restful. Modern people find this almost impossible, experiencing anxiety within minutes of unstimulated sitting. No constant stimulation needed means the brain can rest rather than constantly processing new input. Modern brains are addicted to stimulation, experiencing discomfort when input stops. Amish brains accustomed to regular silence and stillness can rest without anxiety.